It's November 30th, 2018. It's time for the Cell Waters Podcast, number 6.
Our life should be like a comedy show. One laugh, two laughs, don't you know? Our life should be like comedy every day. Oh, 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 what can I say?
My grandpa passed away on November 30th, 2009. I was very close with him growing up. You know, he would watch us very frequently. He was very involved. You know, in a way, he was kind of like a parent. So I'd like to take this moment to, recognize and acknowledge my grandfather. You know, he passed away on November 30th, 2009. It's, what year is it? It's 2018. So it's, I guess, the 9th anniversary of his passing. So, I just wanted to acknowledge that rather than not address it. Moving on to a more cheery topic. Asuka, the professional wrestler, is appearing at WinterCon, which is a Comic-Con-like event. Last year, for those of you who don't know, I met the Hardy Boys at ACE Comic-Con at NYCB Live, the Nassau Coliseum. You know, everything was so overpriced, a waste of money, but I got the picture with the Hardy Boys, and that's one of my favorite pictures ever taken. You know, and for those of you who've seen my videos, it's hanging in my room. I'm glad I got the photograph, but, obviously I'd love a photograph with Asuka, but, it's like $50 for a photograph. You probably have to buy tickets too. It's such a waste of money, but the end game, having the photograph of Asuka, hang that in your room, that would be so cool. But then I have to convince my dad to buy the tickets, and he gets all weird about that kind of thing, and he's like, oh, this is such a waste of money, So, I probably won't do it. The Hardy Boys, everything worked out, and, I don't know. Important Andrew update! I just had a telephone conversation with my dad. I asked him, would you like to go to WinterCon to meet Asuka? And he's like, no, you need to get a job. You need to make money. And, basically he didn't want to pay for it. So, obviously my social skills, my mental health might not be ready to work. But he kind of, he didn't want to pay for it, more or less. He might as well have said, no, you got to tear down the wall, Andrew. We can't meet Asuka because you have to tear down the wall. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You gotta be like Roger Waters. Tear down the wall, Andrew. Oh, okay, I guess we're not meeting Asuka then. You're speaking like a foreign language, but... all right, I'll tear down the wall. Whatever. Okay, see you later. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. I'm going to take this moment to acknowledge childhood bullying. For those of you who don't know, I was severely bullied growing up, and in many ways it's responsible for my present-day mental illness. I was taunted, verbally to the point I cried. I was physically hit. I was humiliated, on a daily basis. And, over time, this really led to, poor mental health, and it affected my social skills, my self-esteem, it really damaged me. Something as simple as going on the train, going to Starbucks, I feel like, I start to panic. I feel like everybody's focused on me in a critical way. I don't know how to interact with anybody. It's affected me in so many ways, and bullying that took place in the year 2000 still affecting me in the year 2018. It's horrible, and it's just a horrible thing. I don't want to go into detail describing exactly what happened and what occurred. I've done that in previous videos. Some of them are no longer on my channel. I could re-upload them for those of you who are interested, but you know what angers me? I posted a lot of videos about bullying on my Facebook page, how it's still affecting me to this day. And, people are like, oh, your posts are so cringe. Not just one person. I shouldn't say people. Just one person said, your posts are so cringeworthy. People often minimize the effects of bullying. They don't understand how much it can hurt somebody. It's not seen as being a serious thing. Picture this: you're isolated. You're the like. Picture being in a classroom and everybody's laughing at you, everybody's pointing at you, and you have knots in your stomach, you're shaking, you're sweating, or picture being it's a horrible thing. It's just terrible. Picture sitting at a lunch table and somebody's like, ha ha ha, nobody likes you, nobody's your friend, and they're like, get out of here, and you're crying. And everybody's laughing, and they're like, "Oh, what type of middle schooler cries?" And picture that type of thing going on like every day, and nobody's doing anything about it. It damaged me. It really damaged me. And I wish. And my mom did do things about it. She was trying to get the school involved, and the school kind of wanted to dismiss it and sweep it under the rug. And they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with Andrew that he's constantly reporting bullies?" And that was frustrating too. Last thing said about bullying: if you're a middle or high school student, or anybody who's getting bullied, speak up. Don't be afraid to report what's going on. And the people that are bullying you are jerks. Even if it feels like everybody's against you, like all the kids are picking on you, still, you'll find later on in life, you're the one who's truly the courageous and strong one. These people are just, I don't want to call them losers, but they're losers for being such big jerks. And, anybody who would do that to you is going through hard times themselves. And it's just horrible. It's just a terrible thing. On a more positive note, it's the Christmas season 2018. You go into all the stores, it's Christmas time. They're giving out the Christmas lattes at Starbucks. Everybody's getting presents. I told my mom, I want a new camera for Christmas. And obviously, as we all know, cameras are like $600. So I probably won't be getting that. She told me I'd be getting money. And I wanted to go to a New York Islanders game at the Nassau Coliseum. Their first game back there in years. She's like, oh, I'll pay for that. That will be your Christmas gift since it's only like $100. Obviously, the long-term investment would be spending the money on the camera, but temporarily I'll quell my frustration by going to a New York Islanders game. To be honest, it's social. I pretty much sit in my room every day. And question for my viewers out there: is it okay to post just audio podcasts with photographs on YouTube? Because that's what I'm doing, and, I haven't been sprinkling videos in there. I've been posting podcast after podcast after podcast, and will that get my YouTube account warned or banned or anything like that? Because, I'm enjoying this approach at the moment, because it's just, I get stuck on something. I start off, all right, I'm having fun drawing pictures. I do that for a few days, then I switch back to writings on Twitter. Then I switch to audio podcasts. Then I go back to videos. I get fascinated with something for a few days. I do it for a few days, and then I switch back to something else. I don't let people tell me what to do artistically. I do what I want to do artistically, and maybe structure and people giving me guidance would actually be a good thing. But right now I'm kind of doing it on my own, fighting this battle on my own, And that's the end of the show.